Welcome to Joint Effort PAs, where two orthopedic surgery PAs get real about life in medicine. From tips and tricks to professional growth, work-life balance, and everything in between. We're here to share what we've learned and what we're still figuring out. Let's get into it. we have to start. We have to start somewhere. I mean, yeah.
Okay. I guess we start
now.
now.
Is as good of time of any as now is as good of a time as any to start this week's podcast.
Yes.
This is some heavy topics. How do we lighten the mood initially before, if I get into this in not the right mindset, then I'm going to sound really depressed talking about this.
No. We will
I
not
need the right mindset.
allow that.
Okay.
How's that?
Perfect. How was your week leading up?
My week was okay.
We've said that a lot recently.
I know. I have a lot of stressful things like professionally going on. So I did something very grown up this week, right? I had a conversation that I knew I felt a certain way about something. And I was like, listen, I can't do what you're asking me to do because I have feelings about it. I'm just not ready to have that conversation. So when I'm over that, we'll talk. Well, do you want to talk about it? I was like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm just going to process my feelings. And when I'm done, then we'll have that conversation. But I know that's how I'm reacting right now.
Did you have the conversation yet?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Do you feel better now?
Yeah. I still think I'm doing the right thing, but I'm not doing it because I feel a certain way. I'm doing
it's not an emotional response. Yeah.
So that I thought was fairly grown up.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to do.
Yeah. But I had another conversation this week where I refused to apologize for my actions.
Yeah. I mean,
which again is one of the underlying themes of our topic today. But I had another conversation where I refused to apologize for my actions. Like when you are in a stressful situation, you respond a certain way. I don't respond outwardly toward anybody. Like I don't rage out.
Yeah.
I internally kind of really focus and get quiet and just do the job. Apparently that makes other people uncomfortable. And my response was, well, fucking deal with it. If that is my response and it makes you uncomfortable when I do that, but I'm getting the job done for the sake of the patients, that's the fucking reality. Buckle up. It's going to happen again.
Yeah. Sorry.
Would you rather I lash out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're living in a form of discomfort too. We're all in a form of discomfort. Yeah. So but see if you can do anything to ease my discomfort. It would be nice.
No, surgical cases were really good this week. Clinic volume and what variability and what I saw was really good. I did a lot of scheduling things this week. I had a lot of other interdepartmental conversations this week. I had to defend myself to other departments this week. That was another uncomfortable conversation. But again, we'll talk about that. Yeah, a little bit too. What about you?
Overall good. I feel like it was a little bit lighter of a week. I feel like I was having such a heavy volume, and then all of a sudden the summer has kind of dropped things off a little bit. So we only did 6 cases this week because I only had 1 OR day. Well, okay, I take that back. 1 OR day with my team. And then my doc I had a long walkabout this week. Actually 2 walkabout days. And I scrubbed with our podiatrist for 1 day this week. And it was actually really cool. Yeah. Got to do a lot of stuff. It was very, very enlightening. And just got to practice different skills that I don't normally get to. It was fun.
Yeah, that's always refreshing. That's taking a walk on the other side of the street for a minute.
Yeah, and it's I feel like those are good. Do I want to continuously walk down that street? No. Is that the path that I am going to take every single day? No, but once a year,
not bad.
Perhaps. Yeah. I think that's a once a year kind of thing, just to kind of refresh one's mindset.
Yeah.
So like a palate cleanser, if you will.
Yeah, it's walkabout. You go see what else is out there.
Yeah. But you always come home.
You always come home. It's just you're going for just a stroll. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Like an unleashed dog that knows its way home always. But, it's got to get its exercise.
The golden retriever always finding its way back home.
I mean, a good loyal golden retriever doesn't need to be leashed or fenced in.
No.
Because it will always come back. I'm digging myself a hole here.
All right.
But to go back, so we have multiple themes for this week that are all
Yes.
centered around the idea of how to be a good leader and how to manage and balance your emotions in difficult conversations. And we have several examples of recent occurrences that have prompted this.
We do. So in the world that we live in, which is orthopedics, and in most line of medicine, maybe not like OB or derm. I don't know why I'm making those generalizations, but whatever. I think a lot of places, the administration are female, right?
Yeah.
The docs generally are male.
For OB, you think too?
I just think I'm generalizing.
Yeah,
I think I'm talking more ortho. I think the exceptions are OB, right?
Yeah.
Maybe derm. I don't know. And then you have the management team, which is like a little bit of both of everything. So like for our audience, how can you be a female PA in somewhat of a bro-y field, right? And be respected for your decisions, be respected for what you do. And when you disagree, how do you not emotionally escalate your feelings? How do you regulate? How are you respected without doing what most male surgeons do, which is just use their words and blow up and instill fear in those around them.
Yeah.
Right? With their presence or their words.
But it doesn't work. Like we don't have that capability.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work because there is an association between a female, and I won't even say PA, but just in general, a female that has a lot of power, who has no real fear. They're kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's just what it is.
Yeah.
So how can you be that respected leader that people fear in a healthy way?
Yeah. Healthy fear.
Without being called, emotional, crazy, off her meds. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I feel like that's something that I teeter with a lot, and I've had
Were you
a lot
off
of
your meds this week.
I was not. I'm very not much. I'm not on or off. No, but I just feel like whenever there's conversations, for example, okay, got a lot of stuff going on my team. I have a PA that's leaving, I have a medical assistant that's leaving. I've got a lot of other departments where there's just a lot of turnover, and it's a lot of staff that have been here a long time. They're just making moves in their career. It's inevitable. Like when you take a job, you don't marry it. Like I get it. I know it's coming. But I needed to just kind of like from a 10,000 foot view, just like think about strategizing and whatever. So I sat outside during quote lunch, which was me closing notes. I had like 6 documents open, and everybody who walked by was like, "Are you okay? Oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay?" Like I was literally removing myself to just like get my thoughts centered. Yeah. And that appeared that I was like sulking.
Yeah. No,
like,
that happens to me too. Like I go on like, well, to be fair, I do call them my mental health walks, but I don't say that out loud to people. But some days I'm just like really overwhelmed by things. And I'm probably not in a good mood, to be honest, but I'm not like choosing to make outward expressions of that. But yeah, I go off and I find a little corner to live in. And yeah, that's generally taken as sulking.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is.
It is sometimes. Like if I'm alienating myself, maybe it's because, I don't know.
I want to alienate
myself, not to like cry or like look internally, but just because I don't want anybody talking to me.
Yeah. Like it's just too much right now.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway, so where do we start?
I don't know where to start. So, I mean, you kind of broke this up into some segments. Some like mistakes that you can make as you said, new female PA or, established. We can all make these mistakes.
Yeah. So again, like things that are running through my head, right? When I want to be heard in the workplace, sometimes at home too.
Yeah.
Why do I have to raise my voice?
Yeah.
Why do I have to swear?
Yeah.
Like if I'm like, hey, can I? Yeah. Hey, can you guys get the ultrasound ready? Because I have like 3 patients. Yeah. Versus, can somebody fucking get the ultrasound? Like, which one makes my assistant move?
Yeah.
Faster.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why do I have to say it that way as opposed to say it the right way and be taken seriously? Like, why do I have to walk away and remove myself before somebody realizes that I'm like wrong. Annoyed?
Yeah. Yeah. Why does it take that?
Yeah. Can I still be respected being myself, or do I have to put on this whole persona of being like the hard ass bitch to get respected?
Yeah.
Like those are questions, right?
Yeah, no, I think like I feel like a lot of females probably struggle with that. Yeah, do you have to act a different way? Because if you're too friendly and too nice, are people going to just walk all over you? Oftentimes the answer is yes, or it feels like yes.
Yeah, and I think where we're going with this is, how do you develop a good, positive, professional influence as a female PA, or just as a PA in general?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I think you have to be assertive. Like you have to be confident and stand your ground on everything that you do. Your clinical decisions and your administrative decisions, and people need to know that like you feel solidly about the decisions that you've made. Not wishy-washy, like, oh, I'll do whatever, because I think if you come into a role or a situation where you're just willing to accept however things are, if it's running too slow for you, people don't seem like they respect you, and you just accept it, you're going to fester within. And like, you're going to get very frustrated very quickly. But you don't want to come in too hot either, like the crazy person who's mean and too assertive and, acts like they're above everybody, and that's not going to be taken well either, and you'll probably get treated poorly because of that.
For the PAs that have come into this practice that have earned my respect, let's talk about that. So I've seen PAs, NPs come into the ortho world, and they think that by chatting it up with everybody, being super social, like if everybody likes me, then I'll get respect. Or you go the opposite way. If I work hard enough, if I'm helpful enough, if I never complain, if I always say yes, then I'll get respect. Like, what do you think about that? Do you think that's
I think
legit?
that I fall victim to that.
Oh, yeah.
Very often. I think that I don't know if I associate those things with respect per se, but just wanting to be well liked, because I hope that will serve me well in some capacity.
So I'm not deterring all that. I think if you do all that, you are super liked, super helpful. You build a reputation for that at your own expense, right? Then you're completely overwhelmed. So in your career, I think instead of saying, always yes to everything, be available. Like, and again, I will contrast that being unavailable. We have some PAs that are never available. Not for every ask. Sorry. Not for some asks, for every single ask. And they now have the reputation of don't even ask them because they're going to say no. Being agreeable. And again, not every time, but most times, hey, can you do me a favor? And again, I would never ask someone necessarily that I think I was putting out, but if I'm really desperate, hey, can you help me with this? And they're agreeable, that clicks and raises them up a level in my head. And I think being a person who always says yes when it's appropriate. But here's the difference. Like, hey, I lost my retainer. Can you go look in the trash for me? Yeah. Like, that's not gaining my respect. Okay, like,
no, I'm not going to go dumpster diving for you.
I've got a couple injections in my clinic, but I really need to go through this hard discussion visit. Do you think you can do me a solid and just hit these 3 knee injections? Sure, no problem. Great. Great. I think that's the yes person. That's not someone who's doing something that's totally out of their realm just so people will notice them. And I think I've seen that. Like, I've seen PAs come in and say yes to all the wrong things. You know what I mean? Like, it's yes to every single social event.
Yeah, like I'll hang out afterwards. I mean?
Yeah,
like
it's
going to be helpful within. But yeah, no, I agree. I think like the PAs that I have grown to respect are the ones that are very communicative and are willing to say yes and help out. And I would never try to take advantage of any of that. But like, there's certain people that I would never really think of asking to help round on a patient. And then there's some people that I will ask for that because I know that there's no strings attached on.
But they're reliable. You know that if you ask them to do it, it'll get done. You know that they're competent because they've demonstrated that through, whatever they do. And, they're professional. I feel like that's the difference.
Yeah. Now, going back to what you said about like asking for help and things like that, that kind of hits our themes. Do you struggle with that ever? Like asking for help if you're overwhelmed and busy?
Well,
or do you just like run yourself ragged and like
a little bit of both. So I think like you, I think I want to demonstrate that I can handle challenging things.
Yeah.
And a challenging thing is when you have 100 things going on. And if I can handle those things and I feel like I'm doing a good job and I have, my attention where it needs to be, no, I will not ask for help. But if I see it's getting out of control, then I will ask for help.
Yeah.
But I guess like the real advice piece here, or I want you guys to understand, the red flag goes up when a professional way to ask for help is say, hey, I've got 4 patients back here. I have 4 in the waiting room. I got to stop right now. Let's strategize how we're going to get all these people back.
Yeah.
Versus you see the patients, you see that this one's waiting 20 minutes. Now it's 25. Now it's 30. And then you're like, guys, and it's shaky voice. And now you're crying.
And you don't have a actionable step for somebody else to take to help you.
But nobody's reacting to you because you're asking strategically. They're reacting to you because you're fucking breaking down.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
And there now goes your reputation of they're a crier.
I know.
Every time they get overwhelmed, they cry. So let's now help this person to avoid the uncomfortableness of the crying. Versus I think if it's done in a professional way, where you're asking, again, not over nice, like, hey, but just like, hey, we really need to buckle down. We really need to do this. I think that's the better way to go.
Yeah. I had a situation this week where I in debriefing about it, but it wasn't even a busy day. That was so disappointing to me. It was not a high volume day, but it was just a stent where, 6 people or whatever come in all at the same time. And I had 4 or 5 rooms filled, I think 4.
Yeah.
And it was, these types of situations, one person talked for too long. The next person, I was already, behind, and I have 4 people now waiting behind. The next person I go to see was an urgent care follow-up who fell and hurt both of her wrists, but both of them hurt everywhere, and there was nothing on x-rays, and everything I touched hurt, and it was just a really lengthy discussion, and I was feeling rushed during it, but also there was nothing more I could do in the situation that was going to make this better. Finish that visit. I'm strategizing in my mind, where do I go next and what do I do? So I go see an MRI discussion and decide to do an injection while my medical assistant is casting the one I just came out of. But then I have this patient waiting for 45 minutes that's literally just been transitioned from a splint to a cast, and I just need to look at the x-rays and put the cast on. So then I'm just going to do this before I do the injection. So I go in there to do that, and they talked for a little longer than I expected. Then my other medical assistant had to get the cast stuff ready, but I had to go in and mold the cast. Then I had a pre-op visit of somebody waiting for a long time, and I was like, this should be quick. It's a pre-op. And before I knew it, I go do the cast, and then the kid's screaming, and they can't get x-rays on him. My friggin' patient that I was going to do the injection on for the MRI discussion, at this point I've been out of the room for probably an hour.
I know. That's insane.
They had to come out, and they were like, oh, what's up? I was like, so many things going on at once. And at the end of the day, my doc was like, why didn't you ask for help? And I'm like, I should have.
You're right.
But in the moment, I didn't even know I needed the help or what help I needed
But so here's the thing, and that's on to the next point. In a stressful situation, you have to understand how your emotions affect your ability to communicate, right? Yeah. So you cannot effectively communicate if you're in fight or flight.
Yeah.
It's not even a thought.
I was never even thinking about the time on the clock or what was happening. And that is something that as you continue to do this more and more, you will recognize. You'll recognize when you're it's falling apart.
It's falling apart. Yeah. You'll recognize when it's falling apart. And that's when you stop, you take a second, you communicate what you need, and then you keep going, right?
Yeah.
That is hard to do. And that they don't teach that in PA school. They just don't, because what's the risk, right?
Yeah.
The risk of stopping what you're doing is admitting you can't do it all.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Right? Or it's asking for help and then being still annoyed at the people helping you that they don't recognize that you're running around with a chicken with your head cut off.
Uh-huh.
That's annoying too.
Yeah.
So then you have to deal with your feelings about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stopping to ask for help. And I will say this all the time, in our urgent care, when they get slammed, right? When we talk about this at leadership meetings, why did nobody call to ask for help? Because
they were busy seeing patients.
When you go in the fight or flight mode, it's not second nature to stop and say, how can I do this more
Yeah.
effectively?
At this point, I'm not looking at my computer even. I am grabbing the papers,
Don't even know what
hoping
time it
what's
is.
written down
Yeah.
is accurate. And I am going room to room, just going off of that.
Yeah. I think and you feel it, and I don't know what your like set off is. Mine is my ears get really red, or like I'll start to like,
So people can see.
no, or like I know, but I'll say to myself, okay, it's like, it's my visceral response to like, shit's hitting the fan, right? That's when I'll stop and I'll say, I need this. And if you stop and you can communicate, it's far better received than if you're doing it emotionally, which again will be something like, oh, did you need some help? No, I'll just do it myself. Like, it becomes something.
Beth, have you ever said that?
No. I mean, oh my God, in life, yes.
I probably
work,
have.
probably. Yeah. But those are pitfalls, and that's not. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, recognizing those moments.
Yeah.
So good learning experiences.
Yeah.
Well, what about crying at work? Let's talk about crying at work.
I don't think in the past 10 years I've cried at work. False. I did one time. Oh my God. I remember this. Yes. We were at the hospital, and there was this super inappropriate tech.
Sport tech?
Yes. And every time I came in the room, he would say something to me, like very inappropriate.
Okay.
And it would always be like under his breath, or like right before the doc came in. I remember talking to my doc about it. Not like I was like,
reporting
it, but I was like, this guy's such a dirtbag. And I'm like, I can handle myself, right?
Yeah.
Someone, and I know who it was to this day, even though they didn't admit it. Someone said something to HR at the hospital
that he was saying stuff
I
to
got pulled out of a case, marched down to HR, and they told me, hey, this was reported. So-and-so said that this tech was, sexually harassing you. Can you tell us about that? And I started like angry crying. I was like, I cannot believe that I am forced in this situation right now because of something somebody said. Like, you literally pulled me out of what I was doing.
Yeah.
And someone went behind my back to say something I was talking about, like, reporting it or whatever.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
Oh my God. And that, I think
I was so, I can't even tell you how mad I was. And I came out as like, it was not even
crying,
like, it was came out as crying. Yeah, it was bad.
I mean, angry crying, I think that is what tends to get the best of me. Like, I have never sad cried at work, like or stress cried. I've never been so stressed that I've broken down and cried.
It wasn't unhinged crying.
Yeah. But I was angry crying, I have. Or it's frustrated crying, I guess.
I was like, I do not need to be here. I did not ask to be here.
Yeah.
You cannot do this to me. I don't give a shit about what happens to that guy. Do not involve me in this.
I don't want to be involved.
I don't want to be involved.
Like, I'm not the one reporting him, and you're making it about me, and I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so
Do you think
mad.
that person thought they were doing you a favor?
Yes.
I assume. Yeah.
Yes, I do. And then I had to go back to the OR and pretend like nothing happened.
Oh my God, and your eyes were all red.
Yes. Oh my God, it was so embarrassing. Do you guys want to talk about it? No, I don't want to talk about it.
No.
Nobody look at me like.
Stop. Look the other way.
No. So
you're like.
Oh my God, I was so mad. But again, like you're when crying happens. Now imagine the person receiving that, right? They're like,
yeah.
Oh my God, are you okay? This obviously is bothering you.
I know, it almost makes it worse because they're like, wait,
because listen, the crying,
you're emotional about it.
To all the criers out there, the crying changes the entire conversation because the conversation is now not about the issue. It's about your emotional state,
Yeah.
But the double standard is if you go the other way and you're angry and you're throwing shit, it's never
also about your emotional state.
It is, but it's not the same stigma.
Yeah. But it almost is the same thing because I feel like the angry doc who rips a cabinet off the wall, that may or may not have happened at one point in the history.
No, I know,
here.
but nobody's asking that one if they're okay. Everybody just is like,
be.
But everybody is a little bit more scared of that person.
Yeah,
people also fear the crier, but in a very different way.
Yeah, but they go back and laugh about they ripped the cabinet off. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And the crier, they're just like, oh, they just can't handle it. Like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And that is always my fear when I break down. I'm like, this is gonna look like I can't handle it, and like I can, but just my emotions are coming out. Like there's just like this is just how I'm expressing it.
Yeah.
I had thank you for normalizing crying at work, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, did my
yes,
traumatic story normalize
yeah,
for you?
Yeah. I had to make sure you also had one experience.
Before you can share yours. Hannah, did you have one? No. If you didn't, I didn't either.
No, I actually told Beth about it like immediately after it happened. I think I went on a little walk and I was like, well, this just happened.
I know. I made you define it. I was like, wait. So like eyes watering or
real.
like crying?
But
you said it was like a hybrid.
It was no, I mean like that whole thing did happen.
Are you sure you weren't sick?
I might have been. I don't know. Okay. It's like heaving.
Yeah.
But it did. Like I compared it to being sick because in the moment I was just so frustrated. Yeah. And like so high emotion about everything going on. And I went to talk and respond and like, like I was about to throw up, but it was just, it was crying that was going to come out. And I knew that I wasn't going to do that in the hallway. So I ran away.
Well, but here's the thing.
Cried.
But here's the thing.
Away.
Do people cry at work? Yes. Do successful, professional females cry at work?
Yes. Also, yes.
They
clearly.
do. Yeah, they do. Clearly. But the difference is, and what you did, remove yourself when you can see it happening and then revisit it later and talk about it. We revisited
it later and I felt better after that. And, I honestly think for whatever, men and women are different and like just process emotions. I sometimes need to get that out so that I can have a regular conversation and not be shaky voice during that.
Yeah. Well, again, because I think that garners respect. I think when you're, you have to pause and remove yourself and
like, let's talk about this later.
Yeah. I think when you're like, listen, I'm not in any state to talk about that. Like I did this week. I was like, listen, I have an issue. I can't even talk about it yet because I'm like processing how I feel about it. Yeah. So let's talk about it at the end of the day or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was able to do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, now the opposite end of that, swearing. Does swearing equal authority?
I don't know.
It's confusing for me, and I'll tell you why.
It is.
Like my parents, right? When I was younger, I grew up like Irish, Italian, Catholic, right? My dad swore
the whole time,
but never at me. When he did,
it was serious.
It was serious. It got my attention. So like I'm somewhat programmed that when I hear that, I'm like straightening up. Like what I do? What I do? What's going on? What's going on? Like it gets my attention.
Yeah.
Crying gets my attention, but in a very different way.
I think it's also, it really just depends on the person because it's sometimes part of someone's vocabulary. I don't know. It's just like how.
But do you think though? Because like today, I mean, if I counted on one hand how many times with those around me, right? In the OR setting, it was a lot, right? So orthopedics, and I can't speak because I don't know. Orthopedics can be colorful. The language can be colorful.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're working in a high stress situation in the OR and things aren't going your way, sometimes language is colorful.
Yeah.
Right.
But I also think that's how I communicate when I'm
not in
when
the
things
OR.
are funny and like if I'm having a good time or a bad time. Like
So when the surgeon I work with or the surgeon that works in the other room, when they swear, people notice. Like you notice. It gets your attention. So that makes, again, not me, because I feel like I'm very confident in my role, but that can make female PA feel like maybe I should be louder. Maybe I should be tougher. Maybe I need to curse more. So like, what are your feelings with that? Is that a way to gain authority?
I don't know if it's a good way to gain authority. Do I still do it? Does it still happen? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's second nature though. If something is really bothering me, something happened shocking, like I'm not going to, wow, guys, like that sucks. No, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah. So again, okay. And I'll break that down. When I say something that like that, which I probably said 100 times today. I don't think that it gets people's attention as to the way that you feel about something.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
It's very clear. There's no,
what do you call it? Like exclamation mark, apostrophe. It's like a, fuck. God.
Exclamatory? I don't know.
It's a thing. It's like, I don't know, adjective.
It's not
an adjective. I can't think of the word.
Anyway, but if you say it, there's no mixing words. You know exactly how I feel about it. Whereas if you say this, this process is so dumb because of this. Like if you say something that has a little bit more beef to it. Like, the turnovers, right?
Punctuation was the word I was looking for.
Oh my God. We had a turnover last week that was 16 minutes, right? And
It's not bad.
It's great.
Yeah.
60-minute turnover for like a big shoulder case.
Oh God.
It was great.
Like beach chair to beach chair?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the doc I work with was like, this is amazing. And then the next turnover. So of course,
that's the expectation now.
Well, it is. The next turnover was like 46 minutes, to which we all responded, this is fucking ridiculous. What is the variable, right?
Yeah.
So how that could have been handled better, right, is, listen, we had a 60-minute turnover. These are the people that were in the room. Why don't we set up some standard based on what they do, right? That should be
why did you make it work
that
well?
should be the standard, right? I mean, that I think garners more respect than this is fucking ridiculous or whatever. So, the response that's emotional is that. The response that's authoritative is, let's make a process, let's make a standard based off of what we just saw, which was awesome. So I don't think you need volume to be authoritative. You need to speak. It needs to be clear. This fucking sucks is clear, right? But
I think that's very clear.
I don't think that needs to come like that at a high volume for people to understand how you feel.
Yeah. And I think like the note of, being tougher, being louder, being more abrasive, that's going to wear on you over time too, because that's not actually how you're feeling inside. You're like putting on that as a way to try to compensate for the fact that like you're not happy about something or you're overwhelmed and you're stressed.
Yeah.
You're still going to be all those things. Now you're just yelling at everybody. And now people are angry at you and not liking you and you're still overwhelmed and stressed. And it's just a negative compounding effect.
So, okay, here's like the next thing. So next level. And again, this, I swear to God, this is not about the doc I work with, but this just so happened to be a very good example of this today. Okay.
Okay.
So
just have to throw that out there.
Just have to throw a disclaimer, right? Why do people finally listen when you're almost about to lose your shit?
Yeah.
Like why is that? So
do you think that you do a good job at like leading up to letting people know that things are minor issues, like,
so women in general.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like,
so
do you wait until it is the breaking point?
Do I? Okay. Yeah. Well, I will use a very specific example today. There were so many little things today in the OR that were just not right. Like certain things, like there's the way that the surgeon I work with likes certain things. There's the, just everything. It's everything about the room, everything about the cases, everything about
I hate the
tags, everything. And everything was like a little bit off, right? Yeah. So it finally got to the point that it was in, I think, our third case or something, where there was not enough room for him to drill. The reason is because the table we were using is a table we never use. So now that we're 20 minutes into the case is set up, the patient's under anesthesia, you can't change a table. Yeah. Right. But he realizes in the middle of that the table's not right. And he just lost it. He was like, why do I have to, like, we do the same thing. This surgery center has been open for so many years. I've operated with the same group of people in this room. Like, why do I have to double check these things? Do you want me to yell? Do you want me to degrade everybody in this room to get my point across? Like, why do I have to do that? Why can't you guys just do your job? Like, I don't understand. And I mean, we were all like, like it was a very effective way to communicate. It was more colorful than that. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But he even said, he's like, why? Like all the little things. And he did say stuff after the little things, but they completely got like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he even said, he's like, I feel it. Like I'm getting annoyed. And then finally had like the communication. And he's like, why do we all feel like that? Why do I have to lose my shit for you guys to respond? Why? Yeah. Whereas women, I think in general, like I would not go from 0 to 100. I don't think I do, but I would like slowly hint something. Then I would suggest it. Then I would like say it a little bit stronger, and it will go for weeks and months. And then finally it gets to the point, well, then I'll explode. Like I feel like my wick is very long and then finally, and it doesn't come out productive at all. It doesn't come out with like, hey guys, I think we should strategize. Yeah. It comes out with like, guys, I'm fucking dying. Like why don't you see that? You know what I mean? And then it's just not really, I don't know. And then once I have that final blow up, then we can fix things. But like, why do I do that?
I think it's just
females
hard
do that. I'm telling you, men do not do that.
Yeah.
Females do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I like to try to pretend that I don't care for a long time until I finally do.
But that's the same thing. Ignore.
Suppress.
But I know it's suppress. And then finally, it's not even the thing, right? Like, let's say you had the front desk didn't check in your patient. It's not that made you lose your shit. It's that and the 100 things before that.
Yeah, the 100 things before that. Like, so each time now thereafter is going to be a bigger deal. And, you know, I worry sometimes after I lose my shit about those things. I'm like, did I overreact? Like, was I being dramatic? Then I'm like, fuck, no, I wasn't being dramatic. Like, I deserve things to be done decently. I deserve like some decent, you know?
Yeah. So I guess like, you know, all these things, which again, thus far, I mean, these are all very real things, like
all these
swearing
things
to
happened.
equal authority, crying at work,
happened,
trying to be too nice to build your reputation. Like, where can we advise our listeners?
Yeah.
What do you think some really good advice falls for our listeners?
Well, I'm clearly not 100% there yet, but I will give advice based on my own shortcomings that it is better to voice small things assertively and calm, and as they come up, even if it seems like you're making a deal of something that shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? That's my worry. Like, if I'm in the middle of a clinic and, you know, somebody doesn't, you know, help get a patient in the right way or order a set of x-rays, I'm like, well, whatever, mistakes happen. Like, I get it. Things get over, there's oversight, forget to pull the x-ray flag. This doesn't get done. And I asked this to get done. This email wasn't answered. Individually, I can understand all of those things happening. And then I get to a certain point where enough of them have happened that I'm like, this is the final straw.
Yeah.
I think you just have to individually address those things, whereas I don't.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to learning really good communication skills as a PA.
Yeah.
And again, after we're done with our 3-day wilderness retreat for CMEs that we're going to do eventually, we will also do a practical communication skills course.
Practical communication, emotional regulation.
Practical communication skills every female PA should learn.
Yeah.
Like, I could write a book.
Yeah. And not over apologizing.
So, number 1, do not apologize for existing. Do not come up to me and say, hey, sorry to bother you, but do not say that.
Yeah.
Like, if you want me to respect you professionally, do not apologize before you ask whatever it is and you did ask.
Yeah.
Right. Another way to say that would be, do you have a minute?
Yeah.
Right. That's a very good way of saying I need your attention versus like, sorry. Right. Don't beat around the bush. Yeah. Don't give me the runaround where you start to feel the emotion building up. Just tell me what the issue is. Just say it. Right?
Because the runaround and the buildup will make you more emotional too.
It will. And if you think that my email to Hannah is, hey, Hannah, can you cover our rural office tomorrow? Whoops, I forgot to tell you. I don't want the delay. And then the response simply, I was not given us enough notice and I cannot do that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That works for me.
Yeah.
As opposed to whatever.
Yeah.
Learn professional disagreement. So instead of crying and emotionally responding to something, voice that you disagree in a way that is respectful, right? Or respected. So,
and why you disagree?
Why are you disagreeing? Or I don't see it that way. My concern with this is, can we discuss another option? Something like that. So just because you're disagreeing doesn't mean that you're disrespecting, but a professional way to communicate something that you don't agree with.
And I think like, you know, say this is within your team or communicating with your doc or something, and something's not, there's some system breaking down, something that's not going well, right? I think coming in with, sometimes it is good to ask like, okay, what do you want me to do differently, and what can I change?
You've said that. I've heard you say that so many times.
Yeah, I will definitely ask that, but I also think coming in with your own suggestions to show like your initiative and thoughtfulness in it. Like, hey, do you think that doing this differently this way would help my situation or help this situation? So, and definitely not getting overly aggressive and acting like somebody who's been off their meds.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
hard to do.
Confidence is different from aggressiveness. And I think when you communicate something clearly without emotion, which again, that is such a hard skill. But when you do that, instead of like reactive and emotional and you're sweating, your hair's all out of place, like I think it is way more respectful to do that in a very clear, calm way. And then lastly, like to be a successful PA female in an orthopedic field where you can feel intimidated, you can feel like you have to bro out, you can feel like you need to do things because you try to mimic behaviors that you see. Build your reputation on your own. So build it before you need it. And again, Hannah did this. You did a really good job doing that. Like you were reliable. You were always available. Like that speaks for itself. If you are out of town and you need a PA to cover for you, you know you're going to go with the reliable ones. They already have the reputation of that.
Be the reliable one.
Yeah.
And also be the one willing to admit when they need help and make a mistake. And when things are not working for them.
Yeah. That's a toughie. That is a toughie. But yeah, crying at work. Can't believe I cried at work.
I mean, that was a long time ago. It
was a long
like.
time ago,
So,
but I was like so mad. I cannot even tell you how mad I was. I was so mad. I've gotten to that level of mad, but my reaction is not like that. I don't know when that switches.
I feel like just the being taken out, like being singled out, like it's getting called to the principal's office, right? I was
completely ambushed. It felt like I got called to the principal's office. So I was like,
in front of like,
what has happened? What am I doing? I literally went down a hall and like, where does this all lead to? Like, am I getting fired? And then when it turned into that, it like exploded out of me. Yeah. Like in all ways. It was bad.
Yeah. And it's like, it just catches you off guard. Like, and it's an uncomfortable thing to talk about anyway. So
it was bad.
I don't know. Yeah. But look, we've normalized it. So if you've cried at work, us too.
Tell us your story. We'll tell you if that was okay or not.
Yeah. Well,
I will have 100 follow-up questions.
Yeah. I need to further assess it to determine if it was worthy of crying at work.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Joint Effort PAs. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow PA or med-minded friend. You can also follow us on Instagram at Joint Effort PAs for updates and extra content. See you next time.